Merab got a big welcome back celebration coming back home to Georgia. He started his career in the UFC with an 0-2 record, and then he won 11 straight, culminating in the championship win. Merab's next opponent is expected to be Umar Nurmagomedov. In the meantime, he's scheduled a grappling match at ADXC 6. It's the main event against Eduardo Dantas. It's a grappling featherweight contest, so 145 instead of 135, which he fights at in MMA. Friday, October 25th in Abu Dhabi. That's one day before the UFC's event in Abu Dhabi. UFC 308, Ilia Topuria versus Max Holloway for the featherweight title. Co-main event is Khamzat Chimaev versus Robert Whittaker. Dan Hooker, being 3-4 in his last 7 fights, makes it really weird to see him in the top 5 at 155. That's Renato Moicano's argument when he says Dan Hooker being in the top 5 is like seeing a turtle in a tree. How did he get there? He didn't climb, he was placed there. The win over Mateusz Gamrot got Dan Hooker into the top 5 in the number 5 position, and Mateusz Gamrot is now ranked number 8. Number 6, Michael Chandler takes on Charles Oliveira in a rematch on November 16th in Madison Square Garden. Beneil Dariush lost his last fight to Arman Tsarukyan in December. Moicano and Hooker are vying for a title shot eliminator fight, but it just seems unlikely. Brian Battle should have got a performance bonus for his post-fight interview. That was a legendary post-fight interview. His fights have been crazy lately too. His last 4 wins have all been brutal stoppages, 2 in the first minute. So he's shown he can knock you out in the first minute, or he can brutalize you and butcher you, tire you out to get the submission or the TKO. Umar Sy picked up a decision victory over Dawoon Jung over the weekend, but he has a severely swollen foot now. Ankalaev wishes good luck to Alex Pereira this weekend. I'm rooting for you. Let's go, champ. Based on the odds, they're on a collision course. This weekend, Alex Pereira is favored to beat Khalil Rountree at UFC 307, and at 308 next month, Ankalaev is favored to beat Rakic. If Pereira does win, he'll be the first guy to bring some stability to the light heavyweight title in quite some time. Because after Jones vacated it, Jan won it by beating Reyes, but then he lost it to Glover, and then Glover lost it to Yuri, then he vacated it, then Hill won it by beating Glover, and then he vacated it, then Alex won it by beating Yuri, and he's kept it since. Not too long ago, people would not have imagined that Pereira would be a long-time reigning defending champion in the light heavyweight division, but that may be the case if he defends on Saturday night. Chris Barnett opens as a 7-1 favorite over Junior Tafa for their fight on October 12th. Tafa's taking this short notice fight. He's replacing Waldo Cortez Acosta. Kamaru Usman picking Khalil Rountree to pull off the upset this weekend, as is Chael Sonnen. Give me Hooker versus Gaethje. I'd be down for that because we haven't seen that fight before. It'd be a fresh matchup, an interesting striking matchup that'd be fun to watch, and they are close together in the rankings. One issue may be that they may be saving one of these guys to fight Poirier in his final fight. Poirier has expressed interest in fighting Gaethje in a trilogy or Dan Hooker in a rematch. Couple underdogs who may be able to pull it off on Saturday night. Wonder Boy, if he can keep the fight standing with Buckley. His takedown defense may be good enough to stop Buckley, and in a pure stand-up fight, he definitely has a shot. And Jose Aldo looked tremendous in his last fight against Jonathan Martinez, and in a pure striking battle with Mario Batista, he may be able to edge out a decision. How do you see these fights going, and which underdogs can win? Let me know in the comments. 3 tough winners are on Saturday's card. Juliana Pena, who's in a title fight, Carla Esparza, and Court McGee. Carla Esparza is fighting her final fight against Tisha Pennington. UFC lightweight Alexander Munoz has retired due to multiple injuries, including a reconstruction on my left knee, torn PCL on my right knee, tear in my right elbow, tore 75% of my lats. Despite this, I didn't want to pull out and fought through these challenges, throwing punches only with my left hand. I was grateful to secure a win. Shortly after recovering from those injuries, I suffered 2 additional tears in my knee while sparring. Some people wondering who Imavov will fight next. If Duplessis rematches Strickland and Whittaker's fighting Khamzat Chimaev, Israel Adesanya could be an option for Imavov next. Ohio is right behind him in the rankings, so that may also be another option. Chris Cyborg training with an old foe in Holly Holm leading up to her fight on October 19th at PFL Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, where she's taken on Larissa Pacheco. This is actually the 5th major championship that Cyborg is trying to win. She has won belts in Strikeforce, Invicta, the UFC, and Bellator MMA. This is actually the first time in a long time that she's a betting underdog. Cyborg has 30 fights currently, 27 wins, 2 losses, and a no contest. Holly Holm is coming off a loss to Kayla Harrison in April. She lost that fight via rear naked choke. This boxing bout on October 12th, Bivol is a slight favorite over Beterbiev. Bivol is a minus 140 favorite and Beterbiev a plus 110 underdog. That's in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. The next big one in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia after that would be December 21st. Usyk versus Fury for Usyk's undisputed heavyweight championship. Ryan Garcia congratulated Logan Paul for the birth of his child. Prime is still suing you for lying, but thanks. I couldn't care less about your lawsuit. I'm giving congrats on the birth of your child. A heavyweight title fight will headline KSW's show on November 16th. Gamrot and Blachowicz are a couple names from the UFC roster who signed from KSW. The WBA Boxing Committee grants permission to super featherweight champion Lamont Roche Jr. to move up in weight to face Gervonta Davis for the lightweight championship on December 14th.
186.
Mauricio Rufy was supposed to be on the card on Saturday, but they couldn't find an opponent for him. Dana White praised his UFC debut as one of the best of all time when he knocked out Jamie Malarkey in May.
So Wei Lee at the Contender Series last week. You were there. You saw it. Wei Lee comes up next month. Let's go. I'm like, what? I'm like, what? She's like, oh, you fight title. I was like, oh, she thinks I'm Khalil. So she thought I was Khalil. I'm like, my man has no hair. He's got facial hair.
The mustache.
You know what I'm saying? Like, he's 6 foot. He's a lot shorter than I don't know.
That was funny.
That was funny, bro. That was awesome. Because she felt, yeah, but you know she's sweet, bro. She's like, yo, man, she don't mean anything by it.